Hello, everyone. Okay, so probably wondering the camera. So, as the wave crashed over me, I hit the shutter. The water doused my body and soaked the Polaroid camera in my hands. When most people think of the south side of Chicago, they don't think of crashing waves and dandelions. We must see the beauty in order to understand the real value of the place like the south side of Chicago. The beauty can be in the magnificence of Lake Michigan, or it can be as simple as dandelions in a vacant lot. Or it can be Mariah Driver playing hide-and-go-seek against a pole in her front yard. Most of all, I have to say, the beauty is inside the people. I've been working and living on Chicago's South Side now for more than a decade. Now, I work with a Polaroid camera, this little thing, and you wouldn't think that it's something that would produce really fantastic results, but it's amazing. I'm able to give people small photographic print, and I like the collaborative process of giving something back to people who allow me into their lives. And it's also a really good conversation starter, because after I pull the print, I have a negative, and I put it in the water. And so I've had a lot of kids, I've had certain kids who approach me and ask me if I have a turtle in the water. So that's kind of a fun thing. Anyways, communities like the South Side, they exist all over the United States. Anacostia here in Washington, D.C., or Roxbury in Boston, places, where resources are scarce and dreams are too often stifled. And these are tough neighborhoods. They're filled with good people who are fighting to survive, and they're struggling. The parents, everybody are struggling to save their young men and women. And it's really like teachers, organizers, artists, parents. They make a daily stand to help their people. And the past decade has been a tumultuous time of change on the South Side. The failed social experiment of the world's largest public housing projects came tumbling down. The subprime market hit the neighborhoods like a rock. And massive foreclosures have really plagued the community. Youth violence also continues to be a huge issue that is really tough for us. And the South Side only trails Detroit in poverty rates. Yet despite all this, we witnessed the rise of Barack Obama, America's first African-American president. And today we are at a crossroads between the post-industrial community and the daunting global future. So some days I have to say, I love the South Side. I love it on the second Saturday of each August during the Bud Billiken Parade, America's largest African-American parade. And, I also say other days I really don't like it, and it's very painful. So when I go to a man like, I really hate it when I have to attend another funeral of a young man like Antoine Shern. Anton was just 18 when he was gunned down in front of his grandmother's home on a dead-end street at 69th and Kimbark. So these are some images of the community. This is an image right here of his older brother, DeMilo, being comforted by his aunt shortly after arriving at the murder scene. Few people outside of this tight-knit neighborhood took note of the young man's passing, and only close family and friends attended the funeral. His life simply evaporated. I coached his younger sister, Sakura, on the basketball team, and so it was not strange that I stood shoulder to shoulder with the family at the funeral scene and at the crime scene. It was also not really strange that I took the photographs because they understood that I'd been working in the community for a long time documenting different events. And I want you to understand why it's so important to document these powerful events so that we can know what's going on in another part of America. He was one of many kids who've fallen victim to gun violence in Chicago. More than 263 kids have been killed due to gun violence in the past several years. And at the funeral, Antoine's mentor, read a message that Antoine had wrote about. And he said that his happiest day was the day when he got to go outside the neighborhood to a place called Ravinia Festival and it was his most peaceful day to listen to music, and he was killed shortly thereafter. So how do we help? How do we, take these stories that to make something happen? I think now is the time to re-engage and get into a national conversation, and all of you can be people who help. These are places that most people don't go to, and the strongest way for change is for people outside the community and inside the community to work together and to cooperate in a really strong way and to make things happen. It needs to be from inside and outside. We didn't get over here overnight, and there's hundreds of little things that are being done on a daily basis, but I could think of a variety of programs, and one in particular is particularly powerful. The South Shore Drill Team is a perfect example. This guy, Arthur Robertson, started the drill team about 30 years ago when he saw his nephew, right here, when he saw his nephew hanging out on the street corners. And today they've helped thousands of people. Finally, I challenge you to learn more about this story. I invite anyone who wants to visit me on the South Side to come and hang out. Take a journey to a place that most people ignore. And if you need a formal invitation, I have to say, I've got one right here for you. All right, so thank you. All right.